20 Black Child Actors from the Early 2000s You'd Never Recognize Today. Part 2. You won't believe what happened to these familiar faces from your childhood. They once ruled your TV screens, delivering iconic lines, unforgettable laughs, and heartwarming moments. But fast forward to 2025, and you'd barely recognize them. Some vanished, some reinvented themselves, and a few took shocking turns no one saw coming. From Disney Channel darlings to quiet disappearances, this list will leave you stunned. Who grew stronger, and who couldn't survive the fame? Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because at Legends of Black Excellence, the glow-up is never what you expect. Philip Daniel Bolden. Philip Daniel Bolden charmed audiences with his mischievous grin and sharp comedic timing, quickly becoming one of the most recognizable black child actors of the mid-2000s. Born on March 19, 1995, Bolden rose to fame portraying Kevin Kingston in the family comedies Are We There Yet? 2005, and its sequel Are We Done Yet? 2007, where he starred opposite Ice Cube. His portrayal of the clever, energetic young boy navigating a blended family dynamic made him an instant fan favorite. In those early years, Bolden also appeared in How to Eat Fried Worms, 2006, showing he could handle both slapstick and more nuanced child roles with ease. Despite the success, as adolescence set in, Bolden's on-screen presence faded. Like many young actors transitioning into adulthood, he faced the industry's well-documented difficulty of casting former child stars in grown-up roles. Rather than cling to the limelight, Philip quietly stepped away from acting after a final guest appearance on the TV show Fly Me to the Moon 3D in 2008. However, Bolden didn't disappear entirely. Over the past decade, he has found new purpose behind the scenes, exploring music production and creative direction. His social media activity is modest but gives fans glimpses into a more grounded lifestyle. He's been involved in composing original tracks and collaborating with independent artists, focusing on creating rather than performing. In recent years, there have been hints at a possible return to television, this time as an adult actor ready to reshape his public identity on his own terms. Today, Philip Bolden's legacy lives on in the nostalgia of millennial and Gen Z viewers who grew up watching him. Though he hasn't chased the spotlight like some of his peers, he's found a quieter, self-defined path in the creative world. As child stars from his era continue to evolve, Bolden remains a symbol of early 2000s family entertainment, remembered fondly, admired for his talent, and respected for the choice to grow beyond the screen. Kelly Jane White. Kelly Jane White may not be a name every viewer immediately remembers, but her performance on screen left a lasting impact. She gained early recognition with her portrayal of young Fatima Kelly in Spike Lee's Malcolm X, 1992, a film that demanded gravitas and historical awareness from every actor involved. White's performance, though brief, was unforgettable. She brought emotional clarity and quiet strength to a powerful scene, one that resonated deeply in a story centered around identity, injustice, and transformation. Following that, she appeared in Courage Under Fire, 1996, further proving her ability to handle mature themes even as a child. She became known within the industry for taking on serious, socially relevant roles rather than mainstream commercial projects. That path, while artistically meaningful, didn't lend itself to the same kind of celebrity many of her peers enjoyed during the same era. But for those who remember, Kelly White was never just acting, she was channeling something real. Unlike many of her contemporaries who transitioned into sitcoms or music careers, White stepped away from the Hollywood fast lane entirely. As adulthood approached, she pursued a quieter life outside of the film industry, focusing on education, family, and the arts on her own terms. Her love for performance didn't vanish, though, it simply took new form. She became involved in local theater, where she could engage directly with community and craft. More recently, White has participated in independent film productions and stage plays, choosing projects aligned with her personal values. She's also become a vocal advocate for mental health and creative freedom in young performers, speaking at community events and mentoring new talent. Kelly Jane White's journey reminds us that success in Hollywood doesn't always follow the red carpet. Her early roles left a deep impression, and her decision to walk a different path stands as a quiet form of rebellion and resilience. She may no longer be under the spotlight, but she remains a powerful force in the spaces that matter most to her. Orlando Brown. Orlando Brown's story is perhaps one of the most dramatic and cautionary tales among early 2000s black child stars. Best known for his role as Eddie Thomas on Disney Channel's That's So Raven, Brown became a fixture of adolescent entertainment. His comedic timing, expressive facial reactions, and energetic delivery made Eddie a fan favorite, especially in an ensemble cast alongside Raven-Symoné. He also voiced Sticky Webb in the original The Proud Family, further solidifying his reputation as a rising comedic talent. Born in 1987, Brown started acting at a very young age, with credits dating back to the mid-90s. He had roles in family-friendly shows like Family Matters and Major Payne, showcasing his versatility even before he hit his Disney prime. But as the curtain closed on his time as a child actor, Brown's life spiraled. He faced a series of public meltdowns, legal troubles, and widely publicized struggles with substance abuse and erratic behavior. His mugshots became more familiar than his acting roles. Despite numerous setbacks, Brown has made multiple attempts to turn his life around. In the late 2010s, he pursued a rap career, releasing tracks and performing at underground venues. While his music career didn't chart commercially, it served as a therapeutic outlet. In recent years, he has sought help through various rehabilitation programs and found support in faith-based communities. In interviews, he's expressed remorse for past actions and spoken about the emotional toll of child stardom without proper guidance. Though he hasn't fully re-entered the mainstream, Brown maintains a presence on social media, where fans, some supportive, others skeptical, follow his journey. His story is complex, part talent, part tragedy, and ultimately still unfolding. Orlando Brown stands as a reminder of what happens when young stars are thrust into fame without a safety net, but also of how recovery and reinvention are always possible, no matter how far one falls. Kyle Orlando Massey. Kyle Orlando Massey was one of Disney Channel's most recognizable faces during the early 2000s. Bursting onto the scene as the hilarious, money-obsessed younger brother Corey Baxter in That's So Raven, he quickly became a fan favorite thanks to his infectious energy and comedic instincts. His popularity led to a rare spin-off, Corey in the House, 2007 to 2008, making him one of the few child actors to headline his own show on the network. In 2010, Massey reached a broader audience when he competed on Dancing with the Stars, where he surprised many by finishing as the runner-up. His likability and quick wit made him a cross-generational entertainer. He also lent his voice to fish hooks and appeared on various Disney specials, keeping him in the limelight well into his late teens. However, as he transitioned into adulthood, his career momentum slowed. Massey attempted to launch a music career and took on smaller acting roles but struggled to capture the same attention. More concerning were legal troubles that emerged in the 2020s, including charges related to inappropriate communications, allegations he has denied. The controversy significantly impacted public perception and professional opportunities. Despite setbacks, Massey remains active on social media, where he shares lifestyle content, humorous videos, and occasionally interacts with longtime fans. His supporters continue to root for a redemption arc, while others remain critical. The once unstoppable Disney prodigy now occupies a much quieter corner of the industry, his legacy complicated but not forgotten. Bobby Jacques Thompson. Bobby Jacques Thompson exploded into pop culture as a pint-sized scene stealer with a larger-than-life personality. He first appeared on That's So Raven as Stanley, the mischievous child constantly hustling Raven for money. Audiences immediately took notice of his comedic fearlessness and quick-fire delivery. His breakout came in the 2008 comedy Role Models, where, at just 12 years old, he played the foul-mouthed Ronnie, effortlessly holding his own alongside adult comedians like Paul Rudd and Seann William Scott. The performance proved he wasn't just a Disney kid, he was a bona fide comedic talent. Throughout the 2000s and 2010s, Bobby continued working steadily. He joined the cast of The Tracy Morgan Show, voiced characters on animated series, and even had guest roles on Tyler Perry's House of Pain and 30 Rock, where he played Tracy Jr. By his mid-teens. He'd amassed a resume most adult actors would envy. As he grew older, Thompson began exploring music, channeling his creative energy into rap. His lyrical work, shared primarily on social media, has built him a loyal following. Although his acting work became less frequent, he never fully stepped away from entertainment, choosing instead to navigate the industry on his own terms. Now in his late 20s, Bobby is a multidimensional entertainer who continues to cultivate his fan base through live performances and digital platforms. He's grown up far from the clean-cut Disney mold, carving a space where humor, hustle, and hip-hop intersect. Gary Leroy Gray. Gary Leroy Gray was a familiar face to anyone who grew up watching 90s and early 2000s television. He began his career on The Cosby Show, playing Nelson Thibodeau, and transitioned into voice acting with standout work as AJ in The Fairly OddParents and as the voice of Charlie in Clifford the Big Red Dog. What made Gray remarkable was his ability to seamlessly bounce between live action and animation. He made appearances on shows like Family Matters, Even Stevens, and The Parkers, showing range beyond his years. While many child actors struggled to diversify, Gray worked consistently across genres and formats. As he entered adulthood, his visibility in mainstream roles diminished. He shifted toward independent projects and guest roles, occasionally popping up in dramas or comedies, but never at the level of his early prominence. Unlike some peers, Gray avoided scandal or public spectacle, choosing a quieter life away from Hollywood's chaos. In recent years, he's kept a relatively low profile, with minimal social media presence and rare public appearances. Insiders suggest he has taken on work behind the scenes, possibly in writing and production, though details remain sparse. Gray's career is a testament to steady professionalism. He didn't chase stardom, but he left a legacy of reliable performances and voiced some of the most recognizable characters of a generation. His evolution may be under the radar, but his contributions remain etched in the nostalgia of childhood TV. Jake Smollett. Jake Smollett, part of the multi-talented Smollett family, got his start on Our Own, a short-lived but impactful sitcom that aired in the mid-90s. Alongside his siblings, Jake showcased natural charisma and heartwarming screen presence. He later appeared in the critically acclaimed film Eve's Bayou, where his dramatic chops became evident at a young age. As the years passed, Jake stepped away from traditional acting and embraced his passion for food and lifestyle content. In the 2010s, he began appearing on culinary shows, blending entertainment with real-life experience. His love of food led him to co-author The Family Table with his siblings, a cookbook celebrating the family's culinary and cultural traditions. The Smollett name, however, became entangled in controversy following brother Jussie Smollett's legal troubles, which cast an uninvited spotlight on the entire family. Despite this, Jake kept a dignified distance, maintaining his personal brand through positivity and focus on his own work. He's active on social media, often sharing recipes, hosting tips, and snippets from his day-to-day life. Whether cooking on camera or producing lifestyle content, Jake has quietly but effectively reinvented himself. No longer the child actor on set, he's now a host, writer, and community-focused creative carving out success in a completely different sphere. Jasmine Smollett. Jasmine Smollett, also part of the Smollett family ensemble, followed a similar path to her brother Jake. She starred alongside her siblings in On Our Own and continued acting in films like Roll Bounce. Her natural presence and poise made her a standout in family productions during the 1990s and early 2000s. As she matured, Jasmine found her interests shifting behind the camera. Rather than pursue the traditional route of a solo acting career, she transitioned into production, focusing on lifestyle television and brand development. Her work often explores themes of family, heritage, and creativity, values that have long defined the Smollett brand. She contributed heavily to The Family Table, a cookbook that blended storytelling, culinary tradition, and personal reflection. Jasmine has also worked on wellness-centered content, often hosting or producing segments about balance, healing, and home-centered living. While her name hasn't been attached to headline-grabbing roles, her influence within the Smollett family's creative endeavors is undeniable. She's played a crucial role in keeping their collective image thoughtful and grounded, particularly as media scrutiny increased. Now more of a creative director than performer, Jasmine represents a quieter but no less impactful evolution from child actress to content visionary. Her path reflects a graceful pivot, proof that reinvention can happen off-camera with just as much heart and authenticity. Taj J. Mowry. Taj Mowry became a breakout star in the late 1990s with his lead role as the pint-sized prodigy T.J. Henderson in the Disney sitcom Smart Guy, 1997 to 1999. With comedic timing, emotional depth, and undeniable charm, Mowry stood out not just as the younger brother of Tia and Tamara Mowry, but as a formidable talent in his own right. Before Smart Guy, he had already appeared on Full House as Michelle Tanner's best friend Teddy, establishing him early on as a familiar face to television audiences. Beyond acting, Mowry showcased his vocal abilities, contributing to soundtracks and performing alongside his sisters in various promotional projects. In the 2000s, he continued to work steadily, lending his voice to the beloved character Wade on Disney's Kim Possible, and later taking on a major role in the sitcom Baby Daddy, which ran from 2012 to 2017. As he matured, Taj explored music more seriously, releasing an R&B EP in 2015 that revealed a more soulful, adult identity distinct from his childhood image. He also launched a YouTube channel and remained active on Instagram, giving fans glimpses into his fitness routines, personal life, and ongoing projects. Taj Mowry represents one of the smoother transitions from child stardom to adult stability in Hollywood. He never faced the public meltdowns or tabloid implosions that derailed some of his peers. Instead, he cultivated a low-drama career marked by consistency, growth, and a deep connection with his fanbase. Today, he continues to act, sing, and engage with fans as a grounded, multidimensional entertainer who never lost his spark. Marques Barrett Houston. Marques Houston first found fame as Roger Evans, the nerdy, lovesick neighbor on Sister, delivering the now iconic catchphrase, "Go home, Roger." But before and during his sitcom success, Houston was also the lead singer of the R&B group Immature, later rebranded as IMX, gaining popularity in the 90s for their soulful hits and polished choreography. When Sister ended in 1999, Houston doubled down on his music career. He released solo albums like MH, 2003, and Naked, 2005, earning him charting singles and tours. While never reaching the superstardom of contemporaries like Usher, he maintained a strong niche following and proved his staying power in the R&B scene. In the 2010s, Houston underwent a major personal transformation. He became a devout Jehovah's Witness, which influenced his career trajectory significantly. He moved away from mainstream fame and toward producing and directing faith-based films through his media company, Footage Films. Titles such as Running Out of Time and Will to Love represent his commitment to crafting narratives that reflect his values. In 2020, Houston made headlines for marrying Mia Dickey, a woman 20 years his junior, stirring online debate. He addressed the controversy directly, stating that the relationship was respectful and rooted in shared spiritual beliefs. Marques Houston today is far removed from his 90s teen idol image. He's focused on building a film portfolio that aligns with his faith and family life. His journey has been one of reinvention, from child star and R&B heartthrob to filmmaker and spiritual man, proof that personal evolution can be just as compelling as fame. Mark John Jeffries. Mark John Jeffries was a young actor with a gift for portraying vulnerability and strength in equal measure. Best known for his performance as a young 50 Cent in Get Rich or Die Tryin', 2005, he brought emotional gravity to the semi-autobiographical role, earning respect for his ability to hold his own in a gritty, adult-themed narrative. Jeffries' career started earlier than that, with roles in Stuart Little 2 and Losing Isaiah, where he shared scenes with Halle Berry. Even as a child, he demonstrated range well beyond his years, which earned him steady work in both television and film throughout the 2000s. Unlike many child stars who fall into obscurity, Jeffries continued to work regularly into adulthood. He appeared in major productions like Notorious, 2009, The Haunted Mansion, and Power Book 2, Ghost, adding mature and urban dramatic roles to his resume. His transition was neither sudden nor overstated. It was a consistent evolution grounded in professionalism and craft. Off-screen, Jeffries has shown interest in mentoring young actors and engaging with independent film communities. He's spoken in interviews about the challenges of typecasting and the importance of owning one's creative narrative. His work ethic and low-key public image have helped him remain respected in an industry that often discards its youngest talents. Mark John Jeffries stands today as an actor who never stopped working and never stopped growing. His journey isn't marked by flashy headlines but by the kind of steady commitment that sustains a career over decades. He may have entered the industry as a child, but he built a name as a working actor on his own terms. Camille Simoine Winbush. Camille Winbush won hearts as Vanessa Tompkins on The Bernie Mac Show, portraying the whip-smart, sarcastic teenage niece of Bernie Mac. Her dynamic with the late comedian anchored the show, and she became one of its breakout stars. At just 11 years old when the series began, Camille displayed a maturity that belied her age, earning multiple NAACP Image Award nominations and the admiration of millions. Following the show's end in 2006, Winbush took on roles in series like The Secret Life of the American Teenager, where she portrayed a more subdued and nuanced character. Though her acting work slowed, she stayed connected to entertainment through voiceover roles, guest appearances, and short films. In 2021, she made headlines for joining OnlyFans, the adult content subscription platform. The move was polarizing. Some applauded her autonomy and body positivity, while others criticized the decision, citing her wholesome image from childhood. Winbush addressed the backlash gracefully, stating that she was embracing her adulthood and doing so on her terms. Outside of acting, Camille has dabbled in business and vocal performance. She's also active on social media, where she engages with fans and occasionally shares reflections on mental health, self-worth, and industry pressures. Today, Camille Winbush is not the kid sister under Bernie Mac's roof. She's a woman navigating fame on her own timeline. Her transformation from child star to independent adult challenges the industry's expectations and proves that growth can be complex, intentional, and empowering. Robert Richard. Robert Richard brought charisma and swagger to every role he touched, particularly as Arnez Ballard on One, where his smooth-talking charm and comedic timing made him a heartthrob among teen viewers. Before that, he starred in Cousin Skeeter, Touched by an Angel, and Light It Up, where he played emotionally resonant characters with ease. What set Richard apart from many child stars was his versatility. He could pivot from sitcoms to dramas, from Nickelodeon to network primetime, all while maintaining authenticity and appeal. By his 20s, he had already shared the screen with heavyweights like Samuel L. Jackson and Forrest Whitaker. In the 2000s, he transitioned into more adult roles, appearing in films like Coach Carter, House of Wax, and later in The Vampire Diaries as a recurring character. His toned physique and polished presence kept him visible in both film and fitness circles. Off-camera, Richard became a vocal advocate for wellness, launching initiatives focused on holistic health and nutritional awareness, particularly in underserved communities. He partnered with various wellness brands and has spoken at events about the intersection of physical health and emotional resilience. Robert Richard continues to act in film and television but has also embraced the role of mentor and motivator. He's living proof that fame in youth doesn't have to end in flames. With discipline, focus, and evolution, he's shown that longevity in Hollywood isn't just possible, it's achievable with grace. Imani Hakim. Imani Hakim became a household name playing the no-nonsense younger sister Tanya Rock on the hit sitcom Everybody Hates Chris. At just 12 years old, she held her own alongside veteran comedians like Terry Crews and Takaina Arnold, delivering sharp comedic timing and memorable sass. Her portrayal of Tanya gave a layered, authentic representation of a black girl navigating family life in 1980s Brooklyn, and resonated with millions. Following the series finale in 2009, Imani made a bold move to prove she wasn't just a sitcom sidekick. She starred as Olympic gold medalist Gabrielle Douglas in the Lifetime biopic The Gabby Douglas Story, 2014, showcasing her ability to carry emotionally demanding material with grace. The performance marked a pivotal moment in her evolution from child actress to serious performer. Rather than chase fame at any cost, Imani took time to study acting, focusing on craft over exposure. She resurfaced in a major way on Apple TV+'s Mythic Quest, portraying Dana, a game tester and programmer navigating a quirky tech company. Her work there has been praised for its sincerity, depth, and comedic strength. Hakim is also a vocal advocate for mental health, Black representation in media, and women's empowerment. She often uses her platform to amplify social issues and connect with fans over shared life experiences. While many young stars lose their voice in the industry, Imani has sharpened hers, becoming both a performer and a purposeful voice. Now in her 30s, Imani Hakim has earned her place in Hollywood not through scandal or gimmick, but through talent, growth, and resilience. Her trajectory reflects the best-case scenario for a former child actor, a career that matures, deepens, and inspires. Tequan Richmond. Tequan Richmond gained fame as Drew Rock, the athletic, charming, and effortlessly cool older brother, in Everybody Hates Chris. Unlike many younger siblings in sitcoms, Drew wasn't just comic relief. Richmond imbued him with real depth, helping to ground the show's larger-than-life scenarios in something authentic. His chemistry with lead actor Tyler James Williams became one of the show's emotional anchors. After the show's conclusion, Richmond made a sharp pivot to more mature, dramatic roles. He played a young father in the harrowing indie film Blue Caprice, 2013, which was based on the real-life DC sniper case. The performance shocked audiences used to his sitcom days and earned him critical acclaim for his emotional restraint and nuanced portrayal. He also spent several years on the long-running soap opera General Hospital, portraying T.J. Ashford, a role that allowed him to develop a dedicated daytime television fan base. Unlike some actors who fade post-Disney or sitcom success, Richmond continued to push boundaries, opting for roles that reflected complex inner lives rather than easy nostalgia. More recently, Tequan has appeared in BET's Boomerang reboot and Games People Play, further showcasing his ability to thrive in adult dramas and ensemble casts. Off-screen, he keeps a relatively low profile, choosing to let his work speak for itself. Tequan Richmond's journey has been defined by artistic integrity. He's one of the rare child stars who didn't just survive fame but grew into a compelling, serious actor. His choices reflect a deep desire to be more than a childhood memory. He's building a legacy rooted in truth. Cleo Thomas. Cleo Thomas made his mark on audiences as Zero, the quiet but resourceful companion to Shia LaBeouf's Stanley Yelnats in Disney's Holes, 2003. His performance was understated yet powerful, portraying a boy hardened by the world but still capable of profound loyalty and redemption. For many, Cleo was the heart of the movie. But Thomas didn't rest on that success. He expanded his career across music, digital media, and entrepreneurship. Throughout the 2000s and 2010s, he released several mixtapes and collaborated with major hip-hop artists, carving out a niche in the underground music scene. He also dipped into roles in Roll Bounce, Walking Tall, and various guest spots on television. What truly sets Cleo apart today is his savvy embrace of modern platforms. He has become a successful Twitch streamer, gamer, and social media personality, cultivating a fan base that transcends his acting roots. He's also the founder of lifestyle brand Slick Living, selling custom sneakers, clothing, and accessories, making him one of the few child stars to thrive in fashion and influencer culture without abandoning artistry. Unlike peers who've stumbled through transitions, Cleo evolved into a digital entrepreneur. He connects with his audience authentically, whether he's talking sneakers, gaming, or sharing throwbacks from his film days. He's turned nostalgia into brand equity, but also built something uniquely his own. Cleo Thomas proves that legacy isn't about staying in the spotlight, it's about finding your light elsewhere and owning it. He went from campfire stories in Holes to leading a lifestyle empire, and he's still just getting started. Wesley Jonathan Wapples. Wesley Jonathan rose to prominence as Jamal Grant on the NBC Saturday morning hit City Guys, becoming one of the few black teen leads in a late 90s series that tackled real-world issues. His charisma, relatability, and sharp comedic sense made him a natural fit for both sitcoms and family TV. But it wasn't his first brush with fame. He'd already appeared in Sister, Smart Guy, and Moesha, showcasing rare versatility. As he matured, Jonathan continued his momentum, landing a leading role in What I Like About You, co-starring Amanda Bynes and Jenny Garth. For 4 seasons, he played Gary Thorpe, a lovable sidekick who often stole scenes. The role cemented him as a fan favorite among teen and young adult audiences. What followed was a unique career path. Jonathan gravitated toward independent films and faith-based projects, appearing in movies like Crossover and Step In. Later, he took roles in urban dramas and appeared in Monogamy and A Country Christmas Story, balancing commercial appeal with more grounded, character-driven work. Outside of acting, Jonathan has spoken publicly about fatherhood, wellness, and spirituality. A fitness enthusiast and committed family man, he often shares insights about personal growth and faith. He's become something of a quiet mentor in Hollywood circles, someone who survived the industry's pressures without losing himself. Wesley Jonathan is a model of endurance. He never had a scandal, never sought viral fame, and never fell off. He simply kept showing up, evolving gracefully with each chapter. His story is one of consistency, dignity, and craft, proving that fame earned through substance can truly last. Alex R. Hibbert. Alex R. Hibbert burst onto the cinematic landscape with astonishing poise in Barry Jenkins' Moonlight, 2016, portraying Little, the youngest version of the film's central character. At just 12 years old, Hibbert delivered a performance of haunting vulnerability and quiet intensity, conveying more through silence than most actors do with dialogue. His portrayal helped Moonlight win the Academy Award for Best Picture, instantly making him one of the most promising young black actors of his generation. Following that breakout role, Hibbert continued to build a strong foundation in acting. He was cast as Kevin Williams in Showtime's acclaimed drama The Chi, where he matured on-screen across multiple seasons. As Kevin, he navigated coming-of-age complexities in inner-city Chicago, from friendships and school pressure to systemic injustice and personal trauma. Audiences watched him grow up in real time, and he handled the role with increasing confidence and depth. Despite early success, Hibbert has remained grounded. He balances his acting work with education, often crediting his mother and close-knit family for keeping him focused and humble. He avoids unnecessary media attention, choosing instead to let his work speak for itself. Now 20, Hibbert is poised for longevity. He recently appeared in films like Story Avenue and The Graduates, signaling a desire to take on more complex, emotionally demanding characters. His quiet presence and deep emotional range make him one of the few actors of his age bracket trusted with such serious storytelling. Alex R. Hibbert's journey is still unfolding, but his early achievements have already placed him among Hollywood's most watched young talents. He's not just the kid from Moonlight, he's a rising star whose career is rooted in authenticity, purpose, and excellence. R.J. Smith. R.J.L. Smith made his mark in the late 90s as the lead in Nickelodeon's The Journey of Alan Strange, a sci-fi series about a stranded alien trying to fit in with Earth's culture. As Alan, Smith brought warmth, intelligence, and subtle humor to a role that required both grounded emotion and out-of-this-world wonder. The show became a cult hit, and Smith's earnest performance left a lasting impression on young viewers. But Smith was no one-hit wonder. His acting credits date back even earlier, with appearances in The Bernie Mac Show, Malcolm in the Middle, and even Stevens. His versatility allowed him to transition from comedic kids shows to more mature fare, and he never lost the natural screen presence that defined his early work. As he aged, Smith avoided the typical pitfalls of child actors by quietly shifting to guest roles and character-driven parts. He appeared in procedural dramas like Criminal Minds, The Rookie, and Bones, often portraying emotionally intense or morally conflicted characters. These roles showcased his ability to elevate a scene without overshadowing it. He became a dependable asset to any cast. Though never one to chase celebrity, Smith's steady career has earned him respect among peers and directors alike. He's spoken about the difficulties of transitioning from child actor to adult performer, emphasizing the need for resilience and humility in an unforgiving industry. Today, R.J. Smith remains a working actor with over 25 years in the business. His journey isn't one of flash but of quiet consistency. He may not have the name recognition of a blockbuster star, but his contribution to black television history is undeniable, and his future chapters are still being written. Shari Headley. Shari Headley became an instant screen icon in 1988 when she starred opposite Eddie Murphy as Lisa McDowell in Coming to America. Her portrayal of the poised, intelligent, and principled daughter of a fast food mogul not only elevated the romantic comedy but also redefined the image of the black female lead in mainstream cinema. With beauty, elegance, and substance, Headley wasn't just a love interest, she was a moral compass, a modern fairy tale heroine for an underserved generation. Before her breakout film role, Headley had worked steadily in modeling and daytime television, including a stint on The Bold and the Beautiful. After coming to America, she continued acting across genres, appearing in shows like New York Undercover, Guiding Light, and All My Children. Her range allowed her to move seamlessly from soap operas to crime dramas to sitcoms. In 2021, over 3 decades after her iconic debut, Headley reprised her role as Lisa in Coming to America, to the delight of longtime fans. Though the sequel leaned heavily on nostalgia, her return reminded viewers of the grace and screen magnetism that made her character unforgettable in the first place. Off-screen, Headley has been an advocate for family support services and single-parent empowerment. A mother herself, she shared stories about balancing her career with raising her son, often encouraging young women to pursue self-worth before seeking validation in relationships. Now at 60, Sherry Headley remains as radiant and graceful as ever. While Hollywood hasn't always given her roles that match her talent, she's always brought dignity and depth to everything she's touched. For many, she'll forever be Lisa McDowell, but for those who followed her journey, she's also a symbol of timeless Black excellence, resilience, and beauty. They made us laugh, cry, and believe in something magical, but what happens when child stars grow up far from the spotlight? Some thrived, some struggled, and others completely reinvented themselves. But here's the real question: do we celebrate their evolution, or secretly judge them for not staying the same? Were they ever really free to choose their paths, or forever trapped in the roles we loved them for? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because at Legends of Black Excellence, we don't just remember greatness, we question what happens after the credits roll.